What's up, gamers? Dreamcastguy here, talking today about the PlayStation 5, because surprisingly there's been some new interesting lies about it, and I feel so baffling to even say that, but surprisingly there is some new news that's come out that is complete misinformation by IGN. This is all kind of baffling, but let's just quickly say happy 25th anniversary to the original PlayStation. Yes, it's been that long, and there hasn't really been any official celebration for it, so I'm calling this today to be a PlayStation Day. Now, what's going on specifically is this strange video popped up over on IGN.com, which I want to remind you is one of the biggest gaming websites on the planet, and when I saw this, I initially just took it at face value.
The Xbox Series S could be faster than the PS5.
Now, as soon as you see that, it's all about how the Xbox is actually going to be faster than the PlayStation 5. Now, it's not particularly shocking. I mean, if you think about it, one of the systems had to be stronger, one of the systems had to be weaker, but the reason this is peculiar is a couple things, which is, first off, this is comedian Michael Swaim. This guy, I've been reading his content for literally 10 years. It's kind of bizarre to see this longtime comedian suddenly working at IGN, but additionally, when you go to the source, so this whole video is peculiar in general because it just seems sort of like speculation, but then you realize that the source itself is Tom Warren. Now, Tom Warren himself isn't a particularly bad person, but he is definitely a Microsoft employee practically. He works over at The Verge. He is very famous for running a Microsoft fan website for years and years and years. This guy absolutely basically just sucks the toes of Phil Spencer. Now, this is not my own declaration. This is other people that are much more intelligent than I am actually declaring this, including this guy, Matt Hargett. Now, I've talked in the past a little bit about Matt Hargett, and it's because I am very, very fascinated by Matt. This is one of the original engineers of the PlayStation 5. Not only did he help design the hardware, he actually wrote the code that is inside of the PlayStation 5. If anybody on the planet is aware of what's going on in the PlayStation, it's literally this dude, right? Well, here's what's interesting is after they tweeted out this video saying, hey, the Xbox Series S, which is the weaker version of the next-gen Xboxes, could be faster than the PlayStation 5. He said, I stopped watching IGN content 2 years ago due to the hosts filling time by spewing inaccuracies far beyond their technical knowledge. Now they just quote people who do the same. I hope it's worth the clicks to lower yourself to this conspiracy theory YouTube quality of reporting. Oh my gosh. Now, let's just be extra clear about this. Matt Hargett is definitely a programming genius. There's been some interviews and some teases and stuff about what this guy is up to. He's kind of one of the masterminds who helped create this next generation of PlayStation. So when he talks about the secrets of the PlayStation 5, I absolutely believe him. This guy has even done little teases and interviews about just the strength that's inside the PlayStation 5. Now, what's interesting about this is if you listen to their reasoning about why they think it is that the PlayStation 5 is going to be slower than the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S, it comes down to some pretty flimsy math. If you really go into things like how the processing power and stuff works, it's not one-to-one. So if you actually go here and there, they say, how long before someone says that a 3.8 gigahertz Pentium 4 says it's faster than all next-gen consoles, better intercore latencies? What are those? Essentially what's going on here is the fact that, now of course I am a dummy, I'm fully okay saying that I'm a complete ignorant person when it comes to a lot of technology, but the thing that's been said by much more intelligent people than me is that there is a lot of complicated stuff inside this new hardware. It's not just about solid state drives, it's not just about 4K resolution. A lot of this comes down to it's more than just the RAM and stuff. It's all about how efficient your processing power is. Let me give you an analogy to try and picture it better in your mind as the differences in computing power versus just the raw strength of tech. So say that you're inside of a room that has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of PCs all hooked together. Now, all of these are of course part of the same network. They're all sitting here. People are joining them, playing games like Doom and Quake and everything. But how these are all trying to be integrated is still a complicated matter. Depending on how you choose to make all these thousands of cables run and crisscross and plug into each other is a huge part of the overall connection speed. It's not just about how long the wires are. It's not just about how big the hub is. There is a lot of very complicated stuff that needs to be kept in mind beyond just the raw strength. Now, I will of course go on record and say, obviously, the Xbox Series X is a stronger system. In pretty much every way, I do think that the Xbox Series X is going to be putting out better graphics overall. I think that the Xbox Series X, especially when it comes to a lot of the third-party stuff that's open world, is going to be hitting 4K 60 frames a second a lot more efficiently than the PlayStation 5. But trying to assign certain claims like just the term faster, this blatant word faster, is not clear enough to the wavy inaccuracies of this. The next gen tech is going to be very, very fun to see, and I'm still excited to see how these games actually work, but more than just raw processing, more than just the fun stuff, I'm most curious now about the exclusives themselves. The first PlayStation 5's exclusives are of course going to be completely put under the microscope, and the earliest Xbox Series X exclusives, whenever they exist, are certainly going to be scrutinized to Kingdom Come. But I'm still so fascinated to see when the chips are actually down, who has the better system. And I think that it's going to be interesting to see. But until then, don't go to IGN, don't look at this stuff. And I say that as a person who actually has some friends who are IGN employees. I'm really sorry to the people that are getting hurt by this, but come on, look at what IGN does. I don't care about the contracts. I don't care about the advertising. They're literally just getting them to say whatever for clicks at this point. I mean, can you even take this seriously? There's the old joke that's been repeated a million times, but you can't spell ignorant without IGN. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. What do you think about all this? And if you have much more technical knowledge than I do, try and explain this in the comments down below. Try and break down what's actually going on when it comes to the raw power of the PlayStation 5 versus the Xbox Series X. And do you think that it's possible that in some ways the Series S might be an upgrade even over its more expensive PS5 counterpart? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. You know what? I'm just going to say this right now. There's a bunch of rumors that we could see the PlayStation 5 price at some point, but as of the recording of this video, I still don't know it. So if you're in the future and you know the PlayStation 5 price, well, let me know. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.